welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. As you can see, I am starting seeds. I'm actually starting my first ever Iceland poppy seeds. I'm pretty excited. I started 2 varieties from Floret. The packaging got a little wet. If you hear that crazy noise, we're under a winter storm warning is tomorrow, but wind is today, so it's probably blowing in the cold air. But I got the Pastel Meadows, which I've talked about before, but I'll still insert a picture here, and the sherbet mix from Floret. I have 1 more of each packet, but I kind of wanted to do an experiment to grow them, to plant those directly into the ground, direct sow them, and see what the difference was. And also, I have some more. I got the Champagne Bubbles White. This was the only variety that Floret had, and the Iceland poppies that Johnny's also carried. Well, I guess they had like your more basic colors, but these are the whites. They're so cute with the white and the little bit of yellow. They kind of remind me of a daffodil in their coloring, not their shape. So I believe that they need light. These do need light. We're gonna cover them with vermiculite. This is my first time planting poppies, and also my first time using vermiculite. I'm gonna use the black gold. This is the only brand. It is Omni listed organic, so that is great, but it was the only one I could find, and it was at our local hardware store. Yikes, I might have done that a little too heavy. We'll see. So this is just a light covering to help these babies be covered, but also get plenty of light. Now, if you didn't have this or didn't want to spend the money for that, totally fine. I haven't used vermiculite ever, and I've been quite successful with just direct sowing flowers. But I kind of wanted to just see. I know these are a little more, I guess, difficult to grow is a simple way of putting it. Alrighty. Man, I got some areas a little heavier. This is my first time spreading it, okay? Amateur hour. Yes, it is. We'll just do that and that. All right. So they're all done. They're all ready to go. I'll straighten you out. I'm gonna put them in a tray, or they're already in a tray. I just need to add some water. It recommends to bottom water these so you don't displace the seeds all over. I'm not the greatest. I can't ever imagine myself being one of those people. I did buy toothpicks for this reason, because I've seen people get in a little ramekin and toothpick them out, and that's great. I don't know if I'll ever be that person. Maybe one day. But otherwise, I just tap them in. Maybe got way too many in each thing, but I'll split them up. Hopefully they do okay with that. We're gonna find out otherwise. But there we go, Iceland poppies. I wanted to talk about today about all the new varieties that we are growing this year, and Iceland poppies happens to be one of them. We are growing several new to us varieties. I have grown a bazillion poppies in life, but I've never grown the variety Icelandic. Icelandic is said to be one that you can transplant out, start early and transplant out, and it's the best cut flower. So traditional poppy, the breadseed poppy, the peony poppy, California poppies, any other kind of poppy, they don't do good as cut flowers. I've even read even if you cut them, and sometimes if you sear them with a flame or put them in boiling water for a few seconds, that's like a technique used by cut flower gardeners to prolong vase life. But even with doing those other varieties of poppies do not do great in a vase. They'll last a few days at most. These actually have a very good vase life and last upwards of a week. But they're a little more difficult to grow, and they can be transplanted. And all the other poppies, like I said, do not want to be transplanted, don't do great as cut flowers, but they are gorgeous and definitely worth the grow. I'll list my poppy video. We're gonna do our whole little garden in poppies and sunflowers and some other different varieties of flowers as well. Here we go. I'm so excited to grow these Iceland poppies. I hope they're an amazing cut flower for us, because they are a cool flower. They are great for this area. They love frost, and they're right up my alley. So please, little puppies, grow, grow, grow. So I'm gonna I'm going to bottom water these. You know what I need in here? I need a watering can. That is what I need. And these are gonna just be out in the greenhouse. I do have some updates for, do you remember the peas we planted? They were the first seeds that I sowed of the season. Well, look at this. I gotta flip you around. Well, look at that. A couple babies coming up. And one more there. We just got a bunch of them coming up, guys. I'm pretty excited. So our first seeds of the season are now our first sprouts of the season, and that is encouraging. We had the interns over here and our volunteer on Tuesday afternoon. They planted up a bunch more, another succession sowing of peas, and I wouldn't be surprised. When did we plant these? It was February 11th we planted these, and then it was in February 23rd. So every 2 weeks I like to get another round of peas. These should germinate way faster. It's 35 degrees outside, 38 degrees, but it's 80 degrees in here right now. I'm actually really hot in this. So we're having some warm days in the greenhouse, which is perfect, but it's not, it still gets pretty cold at night. So this is, but all these things that I'm starting in here love the cold, so it's perfect for them, and then it's warm enough in the day where they like to come out. So here we go. Oh, so we planted a succession of peas. We started leeks. They are the King Richard leeks, and also a bunch of lupin. We have a perennial mix, and I ordered it for myself, but then I was planning on buying some for our landscape, but it was on sale or something. It was a pretty good deal, and it was a huge bag. So I'm actually starting a bunch for Trey as well for the landscape, and we have 3 trays of them. Yeah, 3 trays. So it's a perennial, so it'll come back year after year. I'm not expecting to get too many cut flowers out of it this year, but what we get, if we get a few, we get a few, and that would be fun. All right, little puppies, let's put you up with your friends. I have my flower seed, one of my flower seed storages out here, and my other one too, because I want to talk about my new varieties and maybe show you if these are not obviously new varieties in the cutting world, but they are new to me because I'm a new flower farmer. Dang. All right. The Bells of Ireland. These are just going to be, none of these are all from Johnny, so none of them have pictures, so I can't show you, but I'll insert a picture. The Bells of Ireland, they're beautiful, they're green, they're a great cut flower. I got 200 seeds of those, and I'm going to be starting those. I might start them today. White dill. I've grown dill, just not white and not specifically for bouquets. Dill has ended up in a bouquet, but it wasn't intentional. This is actually intentional. It reminds me a lot of Queen Anne's lace. I also have some of that too, but that is not new to me. White. This, I have mentioned this new flower in a different video, and I was an accidental purchase. I was on the Florette website ordering poppies, and one was on the Poppy webpage when I searched Poppy on their Florette website, and it was stock. I have the antique one, which has been shown in a previous video, or it's like brown. It's like this dusty mauve-y color. It's so gorgeous. It draws me to it. I think it'll be gorgeous in a mix of cut flowers. And then I got some more. I have from Johnny's, I ordered antique pink Cat's formula mix. It's just a bunch, and I guess, sheesh, Cat's formula mix. I got 500 seeds of those, and the antique pink. And then I also have the one I had mentioned. These are beautiful, beautiful flowers, and all of these that I'm mentioning I think are all cool flowers. If there is an exception, I will be sure to let you know. Larkspur. Surprisingly enough, this is my first year growing larkspur, and I'm interested to see how all these do. Most of them are cool flowers, like I said, but I'm curious to know how they will handle frost in the summer if we get it. We can go some years without it, but we can't bank on that. The majority of the year, it's a rare year if we go through a summer with no frost. And we have the cool nights, which is beneficial for these flowers, and if we succession sow them all throughout summer, we should be able to harvest cool flowers all year, which is kind of cool, because if you're in basically any other climate, even if you're in the valley of Oregon, like Salem, Eugene, Portland, you're not going to be able to. I I would think you're not going to be able to push these through the summer, but you never know. Here we can. So that's also a bonus. We might get frost in the summer, but we might be able to grow these beautiful flowers all year. Well, all growing season. Now, with the exception of, I'm not sure how they'll do. I think they will. Like, here's a good example. Sunflowers, they say they can handle frost, and I've talked about them. They're so frost hardy. They are awesome. But on their packets, it says plant after or transplant after your last frost. That doesn't need to happen. I've had sunflowers that grew from black oiled sunflower seeds from my chickens the year before. So they overwintered and then grew beautifully. So you just never, they can handle a lot. And those were actually the most hardy sunflowers. Every time they get left over, I'll throw some in my garden and let the chickens have at them for a bit, but there's always some that they miss, and then they grow up to be beautiful sunflowers, and they're so hardy. I plant my sunflowers as soon as the ground is workable. They grow just fine. Snapdragons, I know some of these are just basic things of flowers, and I have never grown them before. Snapdragons being one of them, and Foxglove digitalis being another. They are beautiful. Foxglove, you have to be, some of these flowers that we're growing, you have to just be conscientious of what you're growing. Foxglove is extremely, they're toxic if you eat them. So are sweet peas. Do not confuse sweet peas with like a sugar snap pea or something like that. Sweet peas, the flower, are very poisonous. I have grown those, so they're not in this list. But foxgloves, my children are old enough, so I remember there were a few years there that were questionable. They would probably eat it and shove it in their mouth. And it's going to be in this fenced in area where our dogs can't get to them. So foxglove on the list, snapdragons on the list. We're going to see how they do. I think they're going to do great with some frost. I know that people say that they can handle light frost, like if you get it. And if you're in a mild climate, we are not, you can overwinter them. Now, I wouldn't be surprised because I have overwintered. And when I say overwintered, I mean you can plant the seeds in the fall and they grow through. I've heard we can do that with onions and shallots and leeks and things like that. I haven't tried that. Maybe I should try that this year. Plant those out in the garden and see if I get an earlier and better harvest off of them. I haven't grown these drumsticks. They're super cute. They're going to be an amazing filler, and they're beautiful. I have several packages of those because I couldn't help myself. And Love in a Mist. Beautiful. Simple, going to be a beautiful flower, also very hardy, and we're going to test its limits this year, I suppose. So these aren't a new variety to me, but they're all in this thing. I got lots. Well, I guess they're a new variety, but they're not a new flower. The Pro Cuts. And I got another one in the house. So Pro Cuts are new to me. I've never grown Pro Cuts. I've never grown a single stemmed sunflower unless it was one of those like giant ones that take all season to mature. So that is all new to me, and they are going to be gorgeous, I tell you. Canterbury Bells. They're adorable. They're cute. They were an impulse buy at the grocery store the other day. I know we can grow them. I believe we can grow them, and I wanted them, so I bought them. They're adorable, and they're just the cutest. I feel like it's the cutest name. Canterbury Bells. Carnations, I hear do awesome. Again, I don't need to say I've never grown it before because this is all new varieties. Carnations, they are a cool flower. They are a hardy flower. Let's give them a whirl. I know some other local gardeners that have said they had great success with carnations. When I think of carnations, I kind of think of them as like kind of boring, or they're just in like every bouquet, and they're nothing special. But I've actually seen carnations. They're different when you grow them yourself. They're different when they're in a different style bouquet. I really like them. Now, so I think they're going to be a fun addition to have this year on the farm. Last but not least, we have a few different bulb varieties. I have one right here. This might be shocking to some of you that I've never grown this. I picked this up from Costco, and I have another couple packs inside, not this big but smaller, is Lilies. I've never grown lilies. ever. But I hear they do great. They're amazing cut flower. For this whole bag of 28 bulbs, it was 20 bucks at Costco. So I'm sure you may be able to get them cheaper from a wholesaler, but the bulbs are ginormous. I might pick up another pack of them just to have. And those I will be using as a cut flower. And then the last thing is a Gladiola. I've never grown Gladiolas. They're on the comeback. I feel like they're coming up. Like, people are gonna really start growing them a lot. And actually, I kind of fell in love with them from Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. She went Gladiola crazy last year, and they were gorgeous. I love them, and I was like, those are really awesome. And when they're put with sunflowers or wildflowers or all of the above, they're just a stunner. They're a showpiece. So I'm gonna grow them. This is what I'm concerned about. So if you are in an area of the world and you get frost later in like late June, July, August, and you've grown Gladiolas, let me know how they did. Did they survive the frost? Does anybody have any experience growing Gladiolas outdoors, maybe in a zone 3 or 4 or 2 or whatever? Let me know. Because on everything I'm reading, it's like, you have to wait until the frost. And I was like, do I have to plant them in my greenhouse? Because I don't know if I really want to plant them in the greenhouse. Or do I have to protect them from the frost? I do not want to protect them from the frost. I want them to be hardy. So that is it, guys. I have so many flowers that we're growing this year, but I'm growing for the first time. I know some of them are kind of, you might be surprised. Like, there's some basic varieties in here that I have, but I'm just new at this. And I know a lot of you guys who are joining the channel or commenting, you're learning a lot too. And so share your knowledge, share any other varieties of cool or hardy flowers that you know of. I know there's some new gals here that are or guys from Zone 3 Gardens, which is really awesome, and you just got to share me the wealth of knowledge that you have. I think it'd be very helpful. It's always helpful to share our experiences. I'm gonna plant some more seeds, and this is kind of the theme of the few videos that I've had lately, is just planting seeds, because the greenhouse we've had a very mild winter, which has been great to an extent. I really missed the snow. This is just the theme. We're just planting a lot. Still no news on the high tunnel. It's Thursday. The last day, I believe, is tomorrow to find out. Maybe we won't find out till next week, which would kind of be a bummer. Today or tomorrow, I should find out if we got it. Here we go. This week but next week we'll be planting onions and shallots and getting those in the pots. And I'll go into more detail about that. But thanks, guys, for following along with me. I will see you next time. Bye, guys. Did you get water? Yeah, you got water. Okay, you got water. Little poppies. Ah! Will I ever do a video where I don't okay, splash water on myself? Oh dear. Oh dear.